Anthony Dunn worked as a pizza delivery driver. One night, he got a call to take pizza to an isolated cottage by a lake deep in the thick, dark forest. A heavy feeling settled in Anthony's stomach as he got into his worn-out pickup truck and started the long drive. The sun was going down, casting spooky shadows across the winding dirt roads. Anthony gripped the wheel tightly, his knuckles turning white. As he drove the twisting, narrow paths, the thick trees seemed to close around him, blocking the fading light. The GPS on his phone led him to a remote, heavily wooded area, and Anthony felt more and more uneasy. Finally, the old beat-up cottage came into view. The wooden building looked like it might fall apart, its worn surface covered in moss and dirt. The messy, overgrown lawn was knee-high, the grass and weeds swaying in the light breeze. Anthony pulled up to the front of the house, his car crunching on the gravel driveway. Approaching the open door, Anthony looked inside, but it was dark inside. He knocked loudly, the hollow sound echoing through the eerie silence. After a few tense moments, Anthony heard slow, heavy footsteps coming closer. A low, rough voice called out, "Bring the pizza around the back." Anthony's heart raced. Every part of him wanted to turn and leave, but he didn't want to get in trouble at work. Slowly, he made his way around the side of the cottage, the tall grass brushing against his legs. In the dimly lit backyard, Anthony saw a small patio with a table and chairs. One of the chairs was taken by a still figure, facing away from him. "Hello?" Anthony called out, but there was no response. He tried again, louder, but the person didn't move. Suddenly, a voice came from behind him, making Anthony jump. "Over here, I want to show you something." Anthony spun around to see a man with a crazy, twisted smile peeking out from the corner of the house. Without hesitating, Anthony turned and ran back to his car, the pizza still in his hands. He peeled out of the driveway, his tires kicking up gravel, and sped away, his heart pounding. Once he was a safe distance away, Anthony pulled over and called the police. The officers checked the cottage but found no one there. Anthony quit his delivery job a few days later, haunted by the memory of the unmoving person in the chair and the man's unsettling grin. He still wonders what would have happened if he had gone to the patio, and the thought gives him chills. Samuel Knightley worked the late-night pizza delivery shift. The drives were long with nothing but dark trees lining the narrow roads. On this particular night, Samuel navigated the winding, foggy paths, his headlights cutting through the gloom. As he turned down a shortcut he had taken many times before, something suddenly jumped out from the bushes and onto the road. Samuel slammed on the brakes, but the sickening thud told him it was too late. He had hit the person. Cursing under his breath, Samuel jumped out of his car to check on the victim. The man lay motionless by the tire, wearing a black hoodie with the hood pulled up. Samuel's heart raced as he stared down at the unmoving figure. In the distance, a scream for help echoed through the trees. Against his better judgment, Samuel decided to leave the man and investigate the cry. Cautiously, Samuel made his way into the woods. The forest was silent except for the eerie noises of the night creatures. "Where are you?" he called out, his voice wavering. Suddenly, Samuel heard the crunching of leaves and spotted a figure hiding behind a nearby tree. Without a second thought, he turned and ran back to his car. When Samuel reached his vehicle, the man he had hit was gone. Shaking, he got back into the driver's seat and continued on his delivery route, his nerves on the edge the entire way. He pulled up to the house and rang the doorbell. The middle-aged woman who answered stared past him. "They let you guys have delivery partners now?" she asked. Confused, Samuel turned around and felt his stomach drop. there was someone sitting in the backseat of his car. Panic surging through him, he grabbed the woman's phone and called the police. By the time the officers arrived, the mysterious figure had vanished. But they found a blood-stained knife on the floor where the person had been hiding. Samuel couldn't stop thinking about what happened. Why the man jumped out in front of his car? And where had he gone after Samuel hit him? The eerie scream from the woods and the unseen presence in his back seat only added to the mystery and terror of the situation. As Samuel lay in bed that night, he replayed the events over and over in his mind. The motionless body by his car, the crunching of leaves in the darkness, and the piercing gaze of the woman at the door, it all filled him with a deep, unshakable dread. He couldn't help but wonder what would have happened if he hadn't made that final delivery, and the thought sent a chill down his spine. Samuel knew he would be haunted by the memories of that night for a long time to come. The questions and what-ifs would never fully go away, leaving him forever unsettled and on edge. It was a terrifying experience that he knew could never truly escape. Rudy Osborne works the counter at a pizza shop. It's late, the place is about to close when the phone rings. Rudy, alone in the empty store, answers. There's silence on the other end. He hangs up, but a minute later, the phone rings again. This time, Rudy hears a weak, cold voice, an old woman wanting a regular pizza delivered. Rudy feels a shiver run down his spine, but he remains polite on the phone. His boss tells him he has to make the delivery. Rudy is annoyed at first, but then he thinks about the tip, so he agrees. He takes down the address, but the old woman hangs up before he can confirm. Rudy gets in his car and puts the address into his GPS. The house is 7 miles away in a quiet, empty part of town. As he pulls up, Rudy sees a small, dark one-story home. He takes the pizza and walks to the front door, ringing the bell. There are no lights on. He rings again, but still no answer. Just as Rudy is about to leave, he turns his head and sees an old woman, probably in her late 70s, staring at him through the window. Rudy yells to her that he has her pizza, but she didn't react. Suddenly, a chilling smile spreads across her face, and Rudy feels a chill run down his spine. Unnerved, Rudy hurries back to his car and sets the pizza on the passenger seat. He texts his boss about the strange encounter, then starts the engine, ready to get away. But as he turns to check the rear view mirror, he sees the old woman standing right outside his passenger window, staring at him with that same unsettling grin. Rudy slams on the gas, speeding away without looking back. His heart pounding, he can't stop thinking about the old woman's haunting face. He never has to make another late-night delivery for that pizza shop again. The memory of that night haunts Rudy. The eerie silence on the phone, the old woman's lifeless expression, and that twisted smile that seemed to pierce his soul. It all fills him with a deep, unshakable dread. Rudy knows he narrowly escaped something terrible, and the thought of what might have happened if he had stayed sends a chill down his spine. After hearing these spine-chilling tales of late-night deliveries, do you still feel safe ordering pizza after dark? Or do you think twice before opening the door to a delivery driver on a dark, foggy night? Let us know in the comments below. And if you have any scary encounters, share your experiences with us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Fearflix for more videos like this. Thanks for watching and see you at the next one.